So we all know of the big three rappers of this generation, Drake, Kendrick, Cole. And now using this term of the big three, I have the big three of the most overrated rap albums of all time. And I mean, they're all of this current generation. You could go some older ones because there's some pretty overrated old albums, but I think these three are very fitting for the most overrated rap albums of all time. In my opinion, at least. DS2, Nothing Was the Same, and My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, top three most overrated rap albums. And obviously, just in my personal opinion, I believe they're overrated because they're overrated for a reason. Everyone loves these albums. At least 99% of people love these albums. Everyone's high on these albums, and I'm not going to say that these albums are bad. I'll say that first. Fantasy is an incredible album. Nothing Was the Same is a good album. DS2 is a good album. None of these albums are bad, but in the aspect of where these are being placed in all-time rankings, how people feel of these albums with the 2010s decade, they're overrated. So yeah, I'm just going to briefly dive into these three albums and why I feel they are overrated and why these are the big three of overrated rap albums. And we'll start off with DS2 by Future. This is the supposed album of only bangers where every single track is a banger. And I can't say that's a bad take, but I don't agree with it because if you want to dive into the track list here, first off, is Rotation a banger? Is Rich Sex a banger? Is Colossal a banger? I would not call those bangers. And even outside of those tracks, I think those are mid songs, but Slave Master, it's a decent song. I don't know if I call it like a banger though. If you're saying a banger, I'm thinking about like, I'm wanting to bob my head, blast this on my speakers. And I'm not saying I want to do that with Slave Master, or I'm not going to want to do that with even Groupies. I think you still could call that a banger though. I think the bass is pretty crazy. It's a banger. It is a banger, but I think it's a decent song. It's nothing crazy. And you know, when it comes to DS2, I just think this track list is so overrated. I feel like people think this is like one of the most generational things to ever come out, and it paved a way with trap. It completely reshaped trap. I will say that, but when you go back to this, it is timeless, but there's skips on here. There's plenty underwhelming tracks. Like I said, Rich Sex, mid, Colossal, mid, and Rotation mid. Those are the three songs on this track list that I think are like actually mid. And I don't think a single track on here really surpasses like a 10 out of 10 besides I Serve the Bass for sure, and then obviously fuck up some commas. There's some great songs on here. I really like Blood on the Money. I think Where You At is great. Thought It Was a Drought is a great intro, but like, I don't think this is the supposed banger after banger, you know, like 10 out of 10 perfect album that people think it is, because there's countless people that think this is a perfect album, and I don't think it's very close to being a perfect album. Production on this album is obviously what ended up being super influential and really paved a way. I mean, Metro Production, Zaytoven, Southside, like, it's a stacked group of producers, but there's still tracks that, for me, fall short of being like a great produced track. I Serve the Bass is the best produced track on this album, one of the best trap songs of all time. I think it's the best. I think it is an outlier, which should say something because for an album of all bangers, there shouldn't be an outlier. Like an outlier would be a weaker track. The outlier is the best track, you know? I Serve the Bass, I could go on about how much I love this song though. This song is insane. That production is unreal. It's one of Metro's best beats of all time. Yeah, I could really go on about I Serve the Bass because I absolutely love that song. But again, there's tracks on here where production-wise don't care for. This isn't a lyrical album, so I guess you can say it doesn't matter, but for me, I still think there's stuff on here that is just not good writing, man. Like, I can't go say Rich Sex is a song that I want to hear where he's just talking about, baby, let's go and have rich sex. You know, I just don't care for the writing on this, okay? It's really just shallow. And then again, production-wise, if you put the influence aside, I don't think it's as, like, groundbreaking. Like, I think Future has more unique albums that, like, when it comes production-wise. So you go to, like, Monster. I love Monster. I think it's his best project. It's obviously a mixtape, but whether or not it's a mixtape or not, if it was an album, it'd be his best album. This is Future's best project of all time, and Monster has some ridiculous production. Look at Throwaway. Oh my gosh. Crazy soundscapes. Bangers on here. Radical. Monster. After that, if any project in Future's catalog is banger after banger after banger, like, it's Monster. Monster is crazy good. Crazy good. I think that's really all I gotta say, man. DS2 just gets really overrated. And the problem is, when you see people like Pitchfork placing it at 16 all time, I literally was thinking about this video. I go on my Instagram this morning and I see a post. Oh, Pitchfork's top 20 albums of all time. DS2 at 16! 16! It's not the 16th best album of all time. Rap album. You're gonna, bro, come on. No, it's not. No. Pitchfork has abysmal takes. Pitchfork is not music critics. That shit pisses me. All right, I'm not gonna rant. That just took a big old turn. I'm done about DS2. I think it's overrated. I don't think it's a top 20 fucking rap album of all time. Pitchfork is stupid as shit. All right, I'm done. I'm not saying this about DS2 also. If you know Pitchfork has some wild takes. They had Invasion of Privacy by Cardi B higher than Illmatic on a rap ranking, okay? That's all I gotta say. But the next album we have on the big three of overrated rap albums is Nothing Was the Same by Drake. And I think this is the most controversial one, at least from what I've seen. There's people that do understand that DS2 is overrated. There's people that even say Fantasy is overrated, even though that one's also a really controversial one. But Nothing Was the Same is the take that ever since I first said it, like, has been my most like worst take of all time, or like the most controversial. Like, people do think it's a no skip track list. Like, the skips on here, I think there's lower tracks on here than DS2. Okay, Own It is such a snoozer. What's the 305 to My City, The Language. I think the skips are so clear on Nothing Was the Same, and I just think it's a underwhelming track list if you take out the highs. If this album didn't have just bang bang with an intro and outro with obviously Tuscan Leather and Pound Cake, I don't think it'd be that crazy. I really think that is a huge push for it. And then obviously, like, Furthest Thing, I really love Hold On, We're Going Home. I've seen people call it corny. No. Yeah, it's a love song, yeah. Maybe a little corny. It's still 10 out of 10, one of my favorite Drake songs, incredible chorus. Like, there are such high highs on this album, but there's also some crazy lows. It's like there's no middle tracks, kind of. Now that I think about it, it's like Nothing Was the Same for me. It's either 10 out of 10, just amazing, or it's just low, like, forget about it. But to talk about this again, the skips on Nothing Was the Same. Own It, easy skip. I'm skipping Worst Behavior. I wouldn't call it a mid song. Well, I don't know. Worst Behaviors, it's kind of mid. But Connect, easy skip. Connect is an easy skip. That's a bad song. The Language, mid. It's a skip. And 305 to My City, like, mid. Maybe bad, not a bad song, but mid song. 5 songs, 5 skips on Drake's most concise album. And this is like a no skip track list. One of the best rap albums of the 2010s. People have this as one of the best all time, and maybe Drake's best, blah, blah, blah. I'm not putting this above Take Care. Definitely not. Definitely not putting above Take Care. If you're reading this, it's too late. And it's like a solid 7 out of 10 album. When you look at the amount of mid tracks on here, this is just not one of the best of the 2010s. And I just don't see the hype with it, because I've gone to it so many times. And it's like, okay, can I get a track to grow on me? Because I'll say this. Notice how I didn't say Wu-Tang Forever is a skip. Okay? Wu-Tang Forever is a good song. I'll admit I called it a skip before, and it's not like I want to go to that song. I still don't think it's like a crazy song. It's a good song. It's not a great, amazing song. It's a good song, but I won't call it a skip. But I'm going to this trying to get the rest of this in, like, when you come, like, Own It and Connect, 4 out of 10 songs. I don't know if that, I don't care if that's a crazy take. What do you get out of Own It? Own It is like a ripoff of Wu-Tang Forever. It builds off of Wu-Tang Forever and keeps the same sample, the whole, like, it's yours, and it just goes off Own It, Own It. Like, there's just nothing out of Own It that you get. And I think the production on this album is overrated too, because for me, I never thought the production was anything crazy. And when I say that, people always like to bring up Tuscan Leather. Outside of Tuscan Leather, bring up a track that blew you away outside of Tuscan Leather and Pound Cake production-wise. I don't think the production is crazy on this album. I think it's good. I think it works for the album. That's definitely leaves space for Drake's, like, introspective lyrics, but I don't think it's like a really, it doesn't have to be groundbreaking, but it's not special. There's just a lot of better produced albums of that year, of the 2010s. Just not something I look at production wise. So yeah, I just think it's a very overrated track list, and I do think it's his most concise album. I think it's his most conceptually focused, but there's plenty tracks that just do not punch, that are underwhelming, that are mid. And then My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. I think some people have come to say it's overrated, but overall, probably one of the most controversial takes you can say. This is a beloved album in rap, and it's for a good reason. It's one of the best produced albums you can find out there, and it has some of Kanye's best and some of the best rap songs you can find out there, with Devil in a New Dress or Runaway. But when you look at the album as a whole, it's overrated. And it's not about the quality of this, because I think Nothing Was the Same and DS2 are good albums. I wouldn't say it any higher. Maybe a great album. That's as high as I would go. My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, though, is an amazing album. But it's the fact that a lot of people think this is the best rap album of all time, and that's just not true. It's not top 10. I don't think I'd have it top 20 at this point. The more albums I go into and just listen to more and more, it's like there's a lot of better albums out there than My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. I'm not gonna sit here and just give a top 20 albums of all time or something, but albums that I think are better than the so-called best rap album of all time. Let's keep it a buck here. It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back. That's better. That's so much better. Enter the Wu-Tang is so much better. Illmatic, The Infamous, obviously The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill and T-Pab, The College Dropout, Only Built for Cuban Links, Good Kid, Mad City, Ready to Die, Liquid Swords, Aquemini, ATLian, Stankonia, 3 Outkast albums. The entire College trilogy by Kanye is better. Black on Both Sides, The Blueprint, Reasonable Doubt, B by Common, Pinata by Freddie Gibbs. Do you see what I mean? There's so many albums better than My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, and this is like the most wide acclaimed top 5 rap album out there. And for me, I think it is just a fall off in the second half, and some of the tracks that just definitely stand out. When you look at some of the best rap albums of all time, you're gonna have a phenomenal track list, and this is a phenomenal track list. But Blame Game, I still don't like Blame Game, okay? And I like how it's a deeply like emotional, personal breakup ballad, and like it does fit for this time, and it portrays like the messy aftermath of a failed relationship. But like, dude, I'll call you bitch for sure. Are you? Dude, I can't listen to that song. And I don't think the production is that outstanding. There's tracks on this album where the production doesn't blow me away. Monster's one of them also. And Monster's another song that I don't find phenomenal. People really love this song. This is not the greatest like posse cut out there. I'll tell you right now, if Nicki Minaj was not on Monster, I could damn well call that song mid. It's just a really corny song, honestly. It's just super corny. Like when Jay-Z comes in, Jay-Z's verse is so whack, and the whole like everyone displaying themselves as monsters, it's cool. It fits the dark fantasy concept. But why would I ever want to listen to Jay-Z just spitting out a bunch of urban legends? And Rick Ross talk about it too. It's a corny song. I'm listening to grown men talk about fucking sea dragons and shit. Like I'm not trying to listen to that. It's just obnoxious. I don't like the writing of that song, and the production's not crazy either. So if it wasn't for Nicki Minaj, that song's a mid. And again, a top 5 rap album of all time is not going to have a mid song. Blame Game, I will say though, Blame Game, maybe I wouldn't call it mid anymore, but it's not great. It's definitely a very it's an okay song. So Appalled, I mean, that song goes on too long. I absolutely love RZA, but like the last like 2 minutes of that song are like unneeded. Like RZA comes on and just repeats the chorus basically, and like it's just so unnecessary. It gives you like a whole 6-7 minute track that just drags on. It just drags so much. And So Appalled's another track that I don't think the production is crazy. All of the Lights is an absolute mess. I love the song though. That's all I'm gonna say. It definitely is a mess. I wouldn't give it a 10. But I do like the amount of people brought together in that song. I'll never defend the vocal quality of Gorgeous, and I mean that's really about it. Because when it comes to one of the best produced rap albums of all time, the best rap album of all time, it's because you're thinking of Power, you're thinking of Dark Fantasy, you're thinking of Devil in a New Dress, Runaway, Hell of a Life. I absolutely love Hell of a Life. Yeah, the writing isn't good, but that's one of my favorite produced tracks in Kanye's catalog. It's like anthemic, super fun song. All the layered textures are great, but outside of that, you definitely have tracks that it just feels like, okay, this doesn't blow me away. This doesn't make me think it's the best produced rap album of all time. Okay, I'm obviously all the other Monster and Blame Game, blah, 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 but that's basically it. There's a lot of stuff to pick out about this album, and if I look at my top, not even top 5, my top 20 albums, there's not much you can pick apart. Nothing. And if there is, there's like one thing to pick apart. An album like Aquemini, I don't like Mamacita. There's nothing else I will pick apart in that album. But when it comes to fantasy, I damn near just said 10 things that I could definitely critique. So it's one of the big 3 overrated albums in my eyes. And I'll clarify again, this is an amazing album. This is an amazing album. I'm always listening to this. It's one of my most played all time, but it's not top 5 all time. It's not Kanye's best. It's not better than anything in the College trilogy. It's not. But you definitely could have it above a Graduation. I don't think it's a crazy take, but I wouldn't have it there. And yeah, that's going to be it for this video. I just wanted to briefly talk about my big 3 overrated rap albums, and come back to Nothing Was the Same. I feel like a lot of people wanted me to like give Nothing Was the Same a chance again. Like I haven't been listening to this for so long. I didn't just now listen to Nothing Was the Same. I did not. I've been listening to this album for years. So there's no like giving it a second chance. Although I will say Wu-Tang Forever did kind of grow on me. But besides that, I still don't think the song is that special. And obviously the stuff about Fantasy, it's probably going to stay overrated for me because I just don't see how it's always so high in lists. DS2, I feel like the critics overrate DS2 more than wide people. When Pitchfork, don't even, don't get me there. But yeah, I think DS2 is it's actually closer to being a mid album in my opinion than a 10 out of 10 album. Well, I have it as a 7 out of 10, so you could just do the math there also. But I appreciate y'all for watching this video. Let me know, what do y'all have as your big 3 overrated rap albums? I'm really curious, and maybe I'll do a extra video about that because I'm just kind of curious. Yeah, drop down what y'all's big 3 overrated rap albums of all time are. Let me know what y'all agree with or disagree with in this ranking. Am I stupid or what? But yeah, check out all the social media, check out all the other content, and I'll see you on my next video.